Well, as you can see, the Bug Out Bronco is back, and this is going to be the first return appearance to the channel. Honestly, it's been sitting in my driveway for about 6 months, and it needed some major repairs that I didn't have the time or really probably the skill set to do. It needed some brake work, but it also needed some major front end work. So just got it back from the garage like yesterday. But I noticed that sometime during its hiatus, so to speak, the rearview mirror had fallen off the windshield. So I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of a good reintroductory video to talk about how to go ahead and replace a rearview mirror on a windshield. So that's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, as I said, I'm really happy to bring the Bug Out Bronco back to the channel. I'm just happy to be able to drive it again. And before I start a bunch of rambling, let me just say, if you just tuned in to see how to replace the rear view mirror, I'll put a link right up here to a different video that's more condensed and more concise and probably has hopefully a little less rambling, because there may be some rambling in this one. Let me just go ahead and say, if you're on a mobile device, you're going to need to click on the video anywhere. Like click right here, that's a good place, and you'll see something pop up right up here, and there'll be several little icons up here. One of them will be a white circle with an eye in it. If you just click that with your finger, or hover your finger over to whatever, it should pop up a link right here that you can go watch that video. So hopefully that helps. So anyway, so if that's what you're here for, just go up there and do that, because you may get a little frustrated with the rambling, because I do tend to ramble, as you can probably tell by now. So anyway, so just a little background. I've had a lot of people ask me about the Bronco, and honestly, it's been parked in my driveway. I did the front brakes and the front bearings and all that, and I got in it one day after that to drive it, and the brake pedal just went straight to the floor. And I've been so busy, just didn't have time to fool with it. I figured it was probably the back brakes, but I just honestly, it parked and got all sorts of pollen and crud, and just it was almost yellow. So I had it towed to my local garage, my mechanic that does all my car stuff that I'm unable to do. And it's a good thing I did, because not only did it need back brakes, but it also, apparently one of my wheel bearing repairs did not go so well, and the wheel bearing was really bad on the left front, and had to replace the rotor and stuff there. So bad on me. I obviously did something wrong, and I'll be upfront about it with you. So, but they also told me they needed some front end parts, and I noticed it was really driving pretty badly, and I thought it was just worn out gearbox. It turns out it was a bunch of stuff worn out, and it drives a lot better now. About $900 later, it drives a lot better now. But I got it home. I took it and spent like 20 bucks in quarters at the car wash, just really trying to get it back to its beautiful, pristine appearance. So anyway, I got in to go home from the mechanics, and I realized, wow, the mirror is gone. It's laid in the floorboards. So that was something I figured I could do myself, and I thought it'd be a good excuse to make a video to kind of reintroduce it to you. So anyway, without a lot more rambling, let me just cut to the chase, and we'll do that, and then I'll come back and wrap this up. And by the way, if you watch this whole video, rambling and all, there's no need to watch that one, because it's going to contain a whole lot of the same exact footage. So, as I said, I'm going to show you how to replace a rearview mirror. So first, we'll talk about what you're going to need to do that. First of all, it'd be really nice to not have the blazing sun in your face, but we're going to go through this anyway. So first of all, you need the mirror that fell off your window, and probably in yours there's going to be this little metal bracket of some kind that kind of pops in, and that's what holds it on. This is actually what glues on the windshield, and this just snaps onto it. So if it fell off as one piece, hopefully you've got this. It's still in the mirror. If not, you need to look around in your floorboard and find it, because you're going to need this. If not, they have some kits that have some universal kind of different sizes for these, but honestly, the kit that I found at my local parts store did not fit my mirror, so be aware of that. So this is the original that came with it, and it kind of goes in there like so. So you're going to need a rearview mirror adhesive kit. This one's from Permatex. It's like $2 or $3 at the auto store. Not a lot of money. You're also going to need at least a straight razor blade or something to kind of scrape the old adhesive off the window. A dry erase marker, and something to clean the old adhesive off of the back of your little mounting bracket thing here. And in this case, I just happen to have some clean strips, so I use that. Acetone probably works. Just different things you can use. But this is, by the way, really toxic stuff, so be careful with it. I'm going to set it out of the way now. And then probably like a pair of pliers just to handle. Basically, I just use this to hold it while I'm scraping with a razor blade so I don't cut my fingers off. So that's what you're going to need. Let me show you at least how I would install this thing. So first of all, if you look on the inside, you can see the little mark where the old one was. Since that is where probably a whole tribe of engineers determined was the best place to place this mirror, that's where we want to put it back. But we're going to need to scrape the old adhesive off. But before we do that, we're going to go to the outside. You want to take your dry erase marker now, and you can see from the, hopefully you can see that on here. You can see the little, this is where it is right here. Just want to outline that so you can see it from the inside, and you put it back where it needs to go. So hopefully you can kind of see that. You can barely see it in the sunshine, but that's the first step. Okay, I've kind of got you down here in the shade now, hopefully, so you can see it a little better. So hopefully your little bracket is still clipped in, but I think it'll just pop right out of there. It's got a little, this one's got a little spring clip on back of it. And I've already, as I said, soaked it in the stripper, so most of the adhesive is off of it, but see if I can get you up here where you can focus in and see it. So I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of adhesive right up on the back side of there. So just take a plain razor blade like this, basically a safety edge razor blade, and just, you can see it peeling up there. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, there you go. And just make sure that you got this thing cleaned off completely. And it's with the stripper or acetone or whatever, it shouldn't be too hard. If you got a little bit left on there, just make sure it's all cleaned off. Don't cut yourself, because blood will probably interfere with the bonding process. So there's that. The next step will be to do the same thing to the inside of the window, and then we'll break out the adhesive kit. Okay, we're inside now looking out, and you can see where the dry erase mark on the outside has kind of got it labeled. So just want to take your razor blade and just scrape that off. It won't take but a second, and make sure it's good and clean. Okay, it's the first day of September here in Georgia, and it is hot. So anyway, a couple things you need to be aware of when you're before you use the kit and mount it. First of all, really important, I know this may seem obvious, but you want to make sure that you have the little bracket oriented, the little button oriented properly on the window, because you don't want to, obviously your mirror is going to slide down on top of it like this, and it's got these little flange on it. Your mirror is going to slide down on top just like that. Bam. So once this is fastened to the windshield, you may be able to tell by your little drawing on the outside of the windshield, but the instructions just say to draw a circle around it. I got a little more precise than that if I could. So that's the first thing. Just make sure you've got this oriented. And typically it's going to be, if there's a narrow side or a rounded side, it's usually going to be at the top, but check your mirror to make sure. Which brings us to the adhesive kit itself. Again, this is just a Permatex Rearview Mirror Adhesive, and it's pretty much composed of two parts. There's a cleaner activator towelette, which is in this little pouch, and you're supposed to open this up, peel it apart, and don't touch it. So you're basically using the pouch as kind of little gloves, and you clean both the interior of the windshield where the button is going to go, and you clean the surface of the button that's going to attach to the windshield. Now again, it's going to be the surface without the flange, the smaller of the two. Clean it both. Don't touch either one of them after you clean it. So you're going to want to hold it from the side like this, and then let it sit for 1 minute just to kind of clean and for everything to kind of activate and dry. Then you've got this little rearview mirror adhesive. So it's just a little tiny pouch. You tear it off here. It says to put 1 drop on here. If you put more, it might cause an overreaction, it says. But you put 1 drop on the back of the button, and you press it in place, hold it firmly for about 30 seconds. And it says to wait 30 minutes before you attach your mirror. One other thing you need to be aware of is, if for some reason that you still have this button attached to your windshield, the only way I can think of that would happen and your rearview mirror was still attached is if maybe one of these little flange ears here broke off or something, or maybe your mirror broke off and you've got another one in a junkyard. Either way, they highly recommend to not try to remove this from your windshield, the old one from your windshield, because you could break your windshield, just to clean it and glue the new one directly on top of it. So there's that. But anyway, that's how you use these. So let's take you up to the old Bronco now, and we'll see how well they actually work. Okay, got the cleaner activator towelette, and what it says to do is you got a little bit of a space up top here, I guess, where they're not together. Unfold it, peel it apart, and then the towelette should remain attached to it. So, and it's going to, just peel it back, and then reach up here on the windshield and scrub-a-dub-dub really good. It's going to be wet. It's going to create a little with a wet spot there. Then do the same thing to the attachment side of the button, and just rub it on there, and then it's just to wait 30 seconds. So we're going to try to time that so it's right. 1001, 1002. Okay, so we've done that. Not touched either surface. I'm going to take the adhesive package, and it's got a little split on the side of it. I'm going to rip it across the opening, and then squeeze out one drop on the side of the back of the button. Let's get one drop. There we go, one drop. And then we're going to put it up there with the round side pointing up. Get there, maybe get you a little close up where you can see. And we're going to just smear it around a little bit so the adhesive is there, and just hold it in place for 30 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1058, 1059, 1060. Okay, I actually did it for a minute because I remembered that's what the instructions said, and I kind of screwed up on the activator cleaner thing because I was supposed to let it dry for a minute, but hopefully it'll be okay. So we're going to let it dry for 30 minutes as the instructions say, which I believe is about 1800 seconds, and we'll come back and make sure everything works okay. 1001, 1002, 1003. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. Truthfully, it's been about 48 hours because I realized I had to go do something at church and did not have time to finish the video, but I did check it after 30 minutes and it worked okay. So the next step is to take your rearview mirror, and you can see it's got the slot here. I'm just going to put it up here and slide it down on top. Like, let me just get you a little close up here. Slide it right down on top. And there you go. Good as new. All right, actually, I guess the final step would be to wipe off the dry erase on the windshield. As you listen to the soft purr of the vintage Ford V8. Now she's done. Okay, well that's how simple it is to install a windshield mounted rearview mirror in most cars. Like I said, those kits are available. You can also get the kind of universal kits with a little button that comes with them. So anyway, hopefully this has not been too rambling, and again, this is the extended version of this. I did make a shorter version with as little rambling as possible, and I thought I would try that because I actually saw Going Gear did that for a while. I know Marshall was doing that back in Going Gear, in his video days in Going Gear, and he'd do flashlight videos with a condensed version, extended version. This is obviously the extending version with a little extra rambling. So anyway, I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts below as to whether it's worthwhile to do this or not. Honestly, one of the reasons I did it is because the shorter version might get more traction with people that are just looking to repair something, searching YouTube for it, and maybe they might stumble upon the channel and find something else they like too. So purely selfish motives on that, I think. So, but if you're watching this one, then you've obviously opted for the extended version, and I appreciate it. So like I said, this video was kind of to reintroduce the old Bug Out Bronco here and kind of restart that series after being parked for several months with some repairs, and after about a $1,000 bill to my local mechanic shop. She's on the road again. She's rolling. She still needs some work, still needs some other stuff fixed, but the major stuff now I think is corrected. So hopefully we'll be going forward and trying to continue to make some videos about there. I'll tell you one coming up is going to be the high lift jack. I've been sitting on a high lift jack now for close to a year, maybe a little over a year, and we're going to be checking that one out in an upcoming video soon. So if you're interested in that, be sure and stay tuned for that. And if you're just looking for something else to watch, there's probably another video right there. And if you're not subscribed, if you click down in the corner right there and subscribe, and make sure you click that little notification bell, or ring the bell as they call it, you won't miss a single video. I really appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.